When did you go to Joe's studio? You were the first?
60s, 70s, 80s.
How often you had it?
Every night.
Every night?
It could be every night.
You paid for that?
Huh?
You had to pay, right?
Yeah, but it was, what was it? $5?
Wow.
Most. I think it started out as $2. Then it went to $5.
I don't remember the price. You know, I only went when I had free time. That was just like in between boyfriends and life, work and all that. But you studied figure drawing every night?
Practically every night. I would go there practically every night.
How many people?
It was filled at that time.
Around 50?
Huh?
50? 50.
50
Or
is a high number, I don't know.
25, 30, 40, yeah.
The highest one.
Like in a circle, right?
Yeah, in the circular chairs. Beautiful. Except you'd have to tolerate the cats.
How many?
Sometimes 4 or 5, maybe.
I know, he wasn't that clean.
It wasn't that clean, but if you could tolerate that, it didn't bother me. And it was among the cats would be among you. They would pour coffee, you'd have this coffee there, and the cats would be right there doing their thing. You got to ignore them. At least I did. But they had the most wonderful models. I hope to see some of them too.
Well, I don't know, it seems younger now here, much more. What's your name?
Sam.
Sam what?
Lishinsky.
Mr.
Lishinsky. My cousin Saul was a well-known artist in New York, Saul Lishinsky. And he had an art studio that was probably one of the 3 pivotal studios where people came to draw the figures.
He had a studio himself that...
He had one in Westbath.
Oh.
Studio in Westbath. And he had it every night.
That too, huh? So you were back and forth? Do you feel like you perfected your work? I mean, improved it? Were you doing abstract?
No. My father, however, was a WPA artist, and he also had a mural at the World's Fair, 1939. As a matter of fact, his mural was next to the mural of Bellatowski, Andrew Bellatowski's father, Ilya Bellatowski.
Wow.
And they both had adjoining murals there.
Wow.
And my father started out as a figurative muralist, and then he developed into abstract work later on.
So you're a New Yorker completely.
I don't know anything else.
And as a more, I guess, the myth of the starving artist.
The myth of the starving artist.
Well.
If you look here, you won't see that.
Okay.
All right.
Do you want us to be quiet, Susan? Should we be a little quiet?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll check and see. So, Cedar Tavern?
The Cedar Tavern was a very interesting place. It was actually in several places.
Where they would hang out? I mean, the artists?
All the artists, and not only the artists, critics, intellectuals in general, would hang out there. The abstract expressionist school tended to hang out there.
Jackson Pollock?
Jackson Pollock.
Pollock.
A Knightley person was the most famous of all of them.
De Kooning.
De Kooning. But they all, and then there was the short guy, I forget his name.
How short?
Quite short, maybe 5'4".
Who would be?
Very famous artist. He made He makes big black shapes. Big single big black shapes.
Blood, some like a bee, with the bee, right?
I feel so bad, I can't remember his name, but he's a very famous name.
He's a famous artist with this black circular shape.
A man?
Yeah, went to the cedar bar.
A sculpture?
No,
Painting? On a square canvas or
no,
rectangular?
various sizes.
Frank Stella? No.
No.
Oh, but from that era?
Yeah.
Andrew will know when Andrew comes, Andrew Wolofowski. Oh, that's a great thing.
Yeah.
And then let's check the others. Maybe we can turn on,
This one's gotta go.
They all became
we have to turn it on
serious drunks.
serious.
Aren't we all?
Serious to the
What?
extent that they passed away.
Yeah,
At the
They all
bar.
died.
Oh.
So,
yeah.
What about the women? I mean, were there lots of women around
there were
there?
lots of women around, sure.
Were they models and
There were models, there were famous artists, famous female.
women, female?
Yeah.
Wow. Basically, you
I
kind
forget
of.
their names.
Grace Hardigan and Joan
Grace
Mitchell.
Hardigan, my favorite. Grace Hardigan.
Joan Mitchell and,
Joan Mitchell, Jane
Well,
Freilich.
Alice Neal didn't drink probably. She probably didn't go out. She
I
had
don't think she was there. I don't
She was
remember.
uptown and she did had children. But she knew a lot of people. She went to Figurative Alliance later. That group, did you ever go to Figurative Alliance? Figurative Alliance is a group that met, painters who met every weekend.
Where?
At the, what's that Jewish institution over on Ludlow, near Ludlow, Lower Side? Alliance, the
Educational.
Educational Alliance. They met there often other places and they went drinking.
Oh.
And they, but that was later, but not later than Joe. Lots of Joe's people went to that. Joe was, he moved in 1998 from Soho, so he had been there since the 60s, I think.
Yeah, my brother was there.
70s. No, for me it was 70s.
Yeah, so back to
74,
them too.
75.
So I want them to remember things from Joe's basement, the cats, getting in, all that.
We spoke about that already.
Wow. Say more. Can you? When did you go?
I started in the late 80s. I started going there, and I didn't go as often as he did. So,
What's your name?
Sarah. And yeah, you know, it was very nice. A lot of people were there. There's always a lot of people there. And they had the models on the podium in the center, and people sat around. It was just very congenial also. Everybody spoke to each other.
You had to bring your own art material.
Yes, everybody brought their own stuff, but people got to know each other, and they look forward to seeing each other there too. And the models are very good. And it was just everybody went there.
Were there like fast poses or, you know?
They
Yeah.
had everything, like here.
Some nights were fast and some nights were long, but Nina
Were
worked
you
for it.
going?
Oh, I went in 1978, 79, 80, but then I got a part-time job at Parsons and I drew there 6 hours a week at the one there. But Nina worked for, Nina, sit here. Maybe you can tell her about working for Joe.
Oh, how about
Sit over there.
over there?
Let's hope Joe comes soon.
Circle.
Where is Joe?
How about over here? We'll have a circle.
Can you tell us some of your memories about Joe's place?
No, I didn't.
You didn't go to Joe's?
I did. I did go.
But you remember things?
Yes, sure.
When?
In 1990s, I was posing for Joe when he had studio place in Manhattan.
You were posing.
Yes. And
Did he
then-
pay well?
Yes, he paid well, and he's very kind, very warm. And then he moved to Bushwick, and again I came to him, and I remember his kindness. He has light blue eyes, always smile, and he had cats. Always cats.
Do you remember your fellow models Eva Wright? You remember Eva? Model Eva? Eva?
Eva? Yes. You mean blonde hair? Eva?
No. I call her Eva, maybe somebody. Do you remember the names of some of the models?
Some, yes.
Who do you remember?
Of course, I remember Eva, who is from Iceland, from Icelandia.
From Iceland?
I remember
Oh, we have
Jason.
to speak louder.
He's here.
Yeah. Jason, it's a dancer, right? Who was the dancer?
He's ballet dancer.
Yeah, who was the dancer who took care of? You remember?
You taking me a hard time?
I mean, do I remember him dancing?
No, the dancer he took care of. Died in his arms.
He died in Joe's arms?
Jason.
He's ballet dancer.
Something like that, yeah.
I think I'll be okay.
Why does work?
Drink, have it open now.
Okay.
More people. Well, so were there talks? I mean, the artists were teaching each other, right? To figure.
No, I think, you're talking about the Cedar Tavern?
Well, yeah, there are talks about how art should be, and
Yeah, there were occasions. I think one night was devoted to talks. And there'd be talks on literature, there'd be talks on art,
oh, you mean at
Cedar.
Cedar Tavern?
Cedar, yes. They would have an hour or two, once a week. They would have.
Oh, so that was like a formal thing.
That was a kind of formal thing, yeah.
Interesting.
The Cedar was in various places, it wasn't just one location.
Oh, really?
It was all up and down that street.
What's that, University
Yeah,
Place?
University Place.
So like Knickerbocker, it's now called Knickerbocker,
Yeah.
would be a Cedar Tavern place too? They had piano.
Let me ask Sarah whether it was University or Lake Street. Sarah, what street was Joe's place on? Greene Street.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, but there were only Finelli was the bar and Broome Street. Two choices.
And the Cedar Bar, what? I don't know.
Well, that was on University,
University.
near 14th Street. I mean,
Yeah, it was in several places.
they all
Yeah.
disappeared.
Yeah, all this.
Isn't it terrible? Oh. Well, now they say. Well, I yesterday photography. Ralph Gibson, the whole other kind of art, aesthetic art form.
I really don't understand this stuff.
Well, you can't, huh? His?
Well, I don't
Ralph
know him,
Gibson? Yeah.
But in general, I don't know what's happening. I don't think anything very important.
Well, because of the digital cameras, everybody's a photographer and everything like that. So,
Is it your impression that there's important work being done?
well, he makes it important because he has an aesthetic about photography. I mean, I use it as a documentary. Artists, I mean, photographers, I know they're passed away now. So, I mean, you know, and
Minerva, this, our address is
My friend was the assistant to Gordon Parks for many years.
Fabulous.
And Gordon Parks could never get his head around the digital thing. He tried it, because you know he took his photographs on film, and he just never got like used to it. He tried.
People
He
from
wanted to be.
from that generation find it very hard, even to
Yeah.
learn the computer.
I couldn't deal with it. He tried, the friend that was his assistant tried, he said, well, just hold it. You know, it was just always, you know, an alien thing, you know.
I know, it's pixels. It's the whole, I
But
mean, the whole
going
dark
like this
room.
could like change the whole, you know, and it made me nervous. I just,
Well, the dark, I mean, the process of photography was, I call it traditional, was
yeah.
the dark
You go in a
room
room
work.
and- yeah.
Right. But
My friend, he's like 80 now, but when I met him, he was like 65, and he would still take photographs and everything. And he would take me into like the dark. It was like magic. It was
yeah,
unreal.
yeah, I know. It's yeah. I mean, it's kind of the way Ralph Gibson describes it. It's like, well, I mean, I knew him 35 years ago. He did a Moroccan photography workshop, right? And to me, he was kind of, you know, saying like how to take photographs in a Muslim country. You know, you got to stand there for hours on the corner and hide your camera. So he would just stand there with his jalaba and do that. But I just snapped, I mean, whatever I could. And he even asked me, how do I take photographs, right? And I said, I just snap photographs.
Like
I just hit, you know, the button. And because, I mean, see, I questioned him this weekend and said, okay, because a friend said that my work was symmetrical and doing asymmetrical. So I asked them the question, which do you do? You prefer asymmetrical or symmetrical? And how do you choose? You know, how do you make that quick decision like that?
Right.
So he said, well, both. He prefers both, and I don't know, but his is all set up.
Yeah.
All his subjects are always set up, so he can focus in on this part or that part, negative and positive. Like he'll focus on the negative space more than the positive. So, and so it'll be the black area more. So, but
I met him a couple of times before he died. My friend took me over to his apartment, and he was a great guy.
I'm sure I met him
great
once.
guy. Yeah.
He and Chester Higgins, you know.
I might have met him. I don't know.
But that's fascinating because I mean
He was like 94
started.
when I met him.
I mean, well, see, Ralph Gibson knows all these names of photographers, Mary Ellen Mark, Magnum photographers and all that, but none of the minorities.
Right.
You know, so it's like, we're not going to get that far, I feel like.
Yeah, you know, it's not fair, but I know what you're saying.
Right. Yeah, and Chester Higgins, I guess it's
And
up
it's still
there.
hard for women.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, because he mentioned, even though he was friends, he said like, Mary Ellen Mark, she passed away. You know, that now they're friends.
Yeah. But she passed away.
Yeah, and he said that all her photographs, she has to take about 50 rows before Life magazine pick one. I mean, you know, something like that. So
Interesting.
yeah, that's his take. But yeah.
Funny world. So you photographed the 4th of July?
No, I draw
Well, I mean,
the news and all that. What? Oh.
I got that thing you sent me from the publisher. Thank you.
Oh, good.
I need to call you and let you know.
Well, we were just talking about it.
Keep going, here come more, come, they're gonna say hello.
I'm just saying how the subways are messed up this weekend.
Hello. Hi, I'm Susan. I'm Susan. I used to once or twice, 3 times, been to your down in Soho. I was on Elizabeth Street then.
Joe, are any of your models coming here? Your old models coming?
I don't know yet. Are you Sam?
Yeah.
Oh, the Cinch kid.
How you doing, Bob? I haven't seen you since 1990. I used to draw all the time down there.
Yeah, your face looks familiar.
Great times for drawing.
Photography, this is just really.
Yeah, I recognize you. I recognize your voice.
Oh, I
I'm
see,
so
yes,
serious.
yes.
He lost
I know
You got the,
you.
you still got the,
I'm sorry.
oh yeah?
I was his
No, no, no.
Sarah.
Huh?
I'm his sister.
Oh,
I
right.
gave a few times.
What are you gonna do, Joe, when you retire? What are you gonna do next?
Hey, how you doing?
Well, you're gonna have to tell us the whole history. Yeah. We're putting him on the spot.
So welcome, Joe.
Yeah.
Hey,
Welcome.
hello, Minerva.
Hi, we're recording this for history.
Really?
It's going to go into the Soho archives.
Everybody knows history is bullshit, you know that.
Yeah.
It's written by the winners, right?
Well,
It's not, it's opinion more than
It's
bullshit.
opinion. Oh, I agree with you. Well, what do we say? Well, the art intellectuals try to put creativity in a box. They call it a shrine. It looks like a coffin to me. What do you have on the back?
I too am a bullshit.
In the song, oh wait, I smell the dying earth. In the song of any rage, I hear the birds beneath my feet.
you're going.
In the vision of my rage, I hear the dolphins hung in naked trees, crying, I take up the gun against
Complicated.
the planet rapers. That's great. I take up the gun against, do you remember Kevin Seiko?
Probably not. I was probably 20, 22 last time we saw each other. You used to have a tail too, but you haven't changed much otherwise. Yeah, when Al used to monitor classes, suicide.
oh, wow.
How is he? Is he still with us?
We're not friends any longer. Just pump and shit. He just used people when they needed it. Typical of human.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be very famous in Europe.
Oh, really?
He's a good artist. I like his light stuff.
Yeah. Well, you were too. Are you going to paint up there in Maine, or do some etching?
What are you gonna do up there? You gonna have a studio up there?
I've written a novel.
How do you? How do we get hold of it?
Huh?
How do we get hold of it?
Well, when I get up to Mass, my nephew Mike is going to put it online.
Yeah.
I've been trying for months, and I can't get my computer to work. I can't understand what they want. It's just something.
I'm just sitting here talking to Joe. Okay, so I came to the Project for Living Artists. My name is Eleni Papageorge. I'm the Friday Night Monitor at Minerva's. The first time I came to a private studio drawing session anywhere in New York City was when I was a illegal double major at Queens College. Couldn't afford to hire, I didn't have a studio, couldn't afford to hire a model. Colleges didn't have models. And I was introduced to the Project for Living Artists by two people, two separate occasions, ironically enough. The first place actually was at my job at the School of Sacred Arts. Somebody I worked with wanted me to go with him during the week to Project for Living Artists, but because I lived at home with my parents in Queens, it was very difficult for me to get there, to get back home.
Yeah.
So instead, he encouraged me, oh, why don't you go on the weekends? And that's when but he didn't know the hours because he worked on the weekends. And it was Eileen Crest, actually at Queens College, who reintroduced me to Joe's studio and told me about the Saturday session at Joe's studio from 10 to 4. And she's the one who encouraged me to go on Saturdays to help me with my drawing skills and to practice working with the figure. And 25 years, almost, well, let's see. I was 21 at the time, and I'm 47 now, so yeah, wow. And that's also how I found out about it. Yeah, so I continued drawing at Joe's from 1989 through 1997 and a half. 1997 and 6 months, because at the time I had found out that Joe was actually going to move, and he wasn't staying in Manhattan, he was moving to Brooklyn. And I told him that I was defecting full-time to Minerva's. He was understanding, but he wasn't so thrilled about the beginning of me splitting my time between his set, his place, and Spring Studio. But
Minerva had its,
well, when Minerva opened up her studio in 1990, That's when I had found out, actually it was 1990 when I had found out about Minerva Studio opening up, but I wasn't going to leave Joe. And then there was some talk about Minerva moving to this spot where we are now.
But
she was across the street at above Dwayne Reed, I believe, the bank.
With the bank.
Yeah, when it was a bank, actually, when it was just finished being a bank. There was no Dwayne Reed downstairs, I don't believe. There was something else there. And then there was some talk that she was moving, so Eileen Crest and Roy Eimhoff and a few others said, no, don't go to Minerva's yet because she's moving, so stay where you are. And then in 1994, that's when I started splitting up my time between Minerva's and Joe's. And then my mother was terminally ill, and then I took a year off, and then I came back. But since I would say since 97, I was pretty much at Minerva's full time. 98. But I'm sorry that I wasn't able to draw Joe's in Bushwick at least once. Because, you know, you take it for granted that things are going to last forever, and then they don't. Drawing studios have a very bad habit of doing that. They just sort of disappear. And,
well, it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Everything has its time. And hopefully this place will have some more time. Spring Studio.
Pay system.
So the pay system was, I think it was $3 for half a day. $7 full day, and he gave you a ring, like a little, like, I don't know what kind of ring, whatever it was. It was a token, so he knew who his all-day people were, especially on Saturdays. I think this was only on Saturdays because that was an all-day token.
Do you want my white wine?
No, I'm okay.
Make a split sir.
Okay.
So, do you want my white wine?
No, I have my red wine over there somewhere.
So I think in order for people to prevent people to prevent people from running out of the studio to get snacks and coming back late in the middle of sets, he used to run. It was actually a good idea. He had a full kitchen because it was an apartment. So he used to have cookies, and he would have coffee, and he'd have hot water for tea, and it was 25 cents, and you had to rinse your own. You had to bust yourself and rinse your own mugs. And because he used to, so people were very good about cleaning their own mugs. We used to clean them before we drank anything and clean them afterwards. But the other thing was interesting was that he had a row actually of water closets that actually had the tank on the top, and when you pulled the string, actually was better than a regular toilet. It was the best toilet I ever saw. It was like tenement style, but indoors. It was really awesome. So that was a way of preventing people from running out of the studio. And then when you had the long break, you had a half an hour, and you could run to the corner to Whole Foods downtown. Not the Whole Foods that we know today, but it was this different one that's now on the Upper West Side, actually. Gary Null owns it. Gary Null, Uptown Whole Foods, is the same owner, but he's a partner with Gary Null now. Anyway, he used to have one on Prince Street, and we used to run there to get our food, and we used to run back into the studio because it was too freaking hot outside.
Right.
And it was also people used to smoke in the stairwell, which was another thing that used to drive me crazy. He's like, oh my God. But all the cute guys were there, so I had to hang out. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I remember going with you after
Louder. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Louder.
So,
Yeah, hard of hearing.
I can speak loud. Kick Reagan in his dead ghostly balls. What shall I say?
How'd you start? The beginning. Where'd you from? Where?
You know, a full-fledged.
Well,
I'm from Waterbury, Connecticut. I came to the city because I lost the woman I loved. I came here in 1968. I had a couple of jobs in the city, and I was walking around, and I was in a car accident. I fucked up my shoulder. I couldn't work. And I saw these posters up for people forming an artist collective. So I went over and I joined them. It was on Broadway just about, just by Astor Place. It's called the museum. Got up, they tried to get a charter. I guess I joined them just as they got the building there. I was helping establish the place. They had what do you call it? Well, we tried to get a tax exemption from the state. They said, you can't call yourself a museum because the museum are dead people. So we changed the name to Museum of Project of Living Artists. After a few years, I was on the team running it. After 3 years, it was falling apart. They wanted to just split up the remaining money, up to $100. And I said, let me find a place. So the drawing session is doing good. You can support the studio. I walked around. I found a place in Soho. It was a cardboard box storage place. So we cleaned that out. Harry Bureau was the landlord. He was a hot shit old Hungarian guy. At first he said the rent was $200 a month. Then he saw that I wanted it. He said, yeah, $225 a month. But uptown on Astor Place, there was a 5,000 square feet for $500 a month. It's crazy times. You had people that we let in junkies. They tried to take over. This guy, this Iranian prince, Robert Farman. His government paid him to stay out of Iran because he's a radical. He was trying to get all these crazies to join. They tried to take over the space. People threatened my lives and shit. But it was like it was a really crazy time, the fucking 70s. But Doris O'Kane, after short ways into it, this very older woman, Doris O'Kane, said, let's have a life drawing session. I thought, that sounds fucking stupid. So we established it. She ran it for, I don't know, maybe a month, a couple of months. She went to Greece for vacation. Lynn Mayo ran it for a month or two. She went on vacation. I said, Joe, why don't you run it? And I said, oh, okay, you got to take it back when you come back. And I've been doing it ever since. I liked it. I really enjoyed it. I like people, oddly enough. I like dealing with people. And I like making that space presentable. I know I cheated the models fairly. So we found the space downtown. Got that set up. We tried to keep it going as a collective for a while, but nobody had any real interest in it. So I just kept it going as the drawing studio. I ended up living there. It was great. I had the building was stepped out. It had a little skylight. It was all painted over. It was painted over. Every pane was broken. You see that the cement was in it. Painted over and a wooden shield over it. So I told Harry one day, I said, do you mind if I open this up? Hey, he said, no, go ahead. So I just chopped out all the glass, put it in myself. Never asked him for anything about a rent reduction. He said, no, fuck it, I got money. But drawing sets were doing good, so I just paid for it. I don't care. I don't give a shit about money, actually. And when I left there, they were trying to take me for 13 years. This asshole, Peter G, tried to co-opt the building. So they're trying to evict me. He sold my space to his friend, this guy, Odette Halame. So Halakmi said, oh, well, we're fellow artists. You can stay for a few months. I thought it was 13 years. That's stupid. But they tried to, where am I going? I'm rambling.
No, you're doing good.
So, so I agreed to live there. I could have blackmailed that whole building. It was 2 6-story buildings side by side. I was grandfathered in as living. I could have blackmailed. I could have gotten, I don't know how many, $100,000 each floor, like 12 different floors. I could perceive that as true, but I wouldn't do it. So I don't give a shit. I ended up $110,000 from there. I found a building in Brooklyn. I had a year to find a space. The day after, if we went past the year, they were going to find me $500 a day. That was a lot of money back then. And I figured, oh, a year is plenty of time. I barely made it. I got out of the last day. And so I found this building in Brooklyn, 30 Bushwick Ave. It's $125,000. So I said, I'll buy it, I'll take it. I put down 40,000. Then a few months later, I paid another 20,000. There's a second mortgage by the seller. Speak guy out of the Goulas. We went to the closing to buy it. And it was so, I don't know, there was something illegal going on. I don't know what the water was. It was like 5 or 6 different lawyers. One of the lawyers said, I have to go to the toilet. Got up and he went out through these glass doors. All these other guys, my lawyer, these other lawyers, they leaned over and she was going, quick, sign this. All these guys were signing shit. I have no idea what was going on. And I asked Abdullah at the closing, I said, what about water? And his lawyer, my lawyer, all shouted out in unison. It's paid for in the taxes or the mortgage, I forget which. But they all said the same thing. I said, this is weird. I don't know what's going on here. So I've been here like 19 years. 2 years ago, I learned that the woman next door, the water is metered, and I have a pipe running to my space.
Right.
So, no, I'm very conservative. I haven't flushed the toilet in 25 years. It's all wastewater. Wash my hands, water the dishes, laundry and shit. I save all this water. So I'm very conservative about water. I hate the thought of using good water to wash away shit. It's really offensive. But she was pretty honest. At first she said, oh, it's okay. Then a month later she said, oh, you should pay me something. She cut my water off a couple of months ago for like 5 days. So I had no water at all. I got a lot of rainwater on my roof. I have these rain collection thing where I water my garden. So I had plenty of water. It was pretty inconvenient having no water at all. But she put it back on. So I guess it's okay. I can live pretty primitive. It doesn't faze me. So I got. So where was I in my story? I lost track. But I got a spotter here.
Yeah, you bought the place.
Oh yes, yeah.
And then you started a drawing studio there.
Oh yeah, I just kept it going.
Yeah.
I traveled over. I had, oddly enough, I moved from Greene St.
When you were at Greene Street,
Yeah.
you were 7 days a week, correct?
The session? No. I had
3 days a week?
Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays.
Okay.
Alternate, sometimes Friday, sometimes Sunday,
Okay.
depending on the season.
Right.
Oh,
And,
no, I always
you
get.
had double sessions on Saturday.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's for a while I was doing that.
Yeah.
But I always get people who leave me angry messages on the phone. I was here Wednesday, 9 a.m. You weren't here. Where the hell were you? I don't have a session on Wednesday. I never did. But people they have their perception and they won't alter it. It's a lot of work. And I'm a very private person. I like my own time. And that's my home. It's not like Minerva has this is like a commercial studio. But if I lived in my place, it's a little bit different setup. I like a lot of alone time. I like to sit and think. It's my hobby. Yeah, that's how I became an author. I am an unpublished author. When I get up to Mass, my nephew will get me on this thing called Smashwords. The biggest distributor. See, I think I'm a writer. I can't speak. They distribute all these different e-book formats. So I think a book needs an audience, and a painting doesn't. Maybe that's my little hermit head. Well, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a writer. I either wanted to be a painter or a writer since I was like 5 years old. But I figured writing was too a rigid discipline, where painting was it could flow like visions, which it does for me. And I've learned from going to these science fiction readings, because there are a lot of authors. A good number of them also have the same inspiration. They work from like a circular, non-linear. These visions come out, and they can write from that. When I was in freshman in high school, oh, you'll like this. Freshman in high school, the teacher said, "Oh, you write a little something, a couple of pages, a little story or an essay." So I wrote this story where I'm walking through this forest in the sunlight, dappled sunlight and shit. And I find a wall, this pathways, these old broken stones, and I find a wall with great old textured brick and stone and the field. The teacher says, Joseph, that's wonderful. Please stand up, read this. I'm a very shy person. So I read it out loud. So I'm standing, he says, now Joseph, we all know you could not possibly have written this. But she was like sweet about it. She went on and on. I was like, I still got a spear sticking in me. So I didn't write anything for years. I couldn't defend myself. I was shy, quiet person. I still am. I look like a biker. When I was working as a mover, a lot of people would say, all these tradesmen said, what kind of biker ride? When I was a kid, I always looked tough. I didn't know this. I'd be walking on the street, and all these tough guys, you're afraid to say anything, because bullies, if you look confident, their balls shrink. So, but I found out later too, like I had a couple of asshole macho buddies who were like, they thought they were tough guys. So I'd meet all these tough guys, and they would say, oh, you're a really nice guy. We always wanted to kick your ass, but you never tried. So I come to realize that this, it's an appearance thing. It's not calculated on my part unless it's subconscious. I don't know, because the human brain can be very subtle. So so I got into thinking about. I've always liked the idea of writing, and I got a few years ago. I don't notate things, but I think it was about 10 years ago. I was standing in the shower washing my armpits. I had my arms out, and I said, if alien creatures, if sentient beings across the universe were tentacles or many legs, they would see us humans as having 3 crotches. And I said, and that would be pejorative. I said, you human, you 3 crotch. And I started laughing. And I started thinking about these octopuses with 60 legs. And that's what it is. That's what the book is about. It's called The Dancer of the Brink of Heaven. These creatures live for billions of years. It's on a quest to find God. They deflect from their quest to save the planet, the Earth's soul. Because the Earth has a beautiful soul. And we all have a couple of molecules. Our souls are molecules of the Earth's soul. So they come to rescue the soul. And they come to work with, in the future, there's a motorcycle gang called The Gorgeous Song of Shattering Glass. It's kind of an intellectual biker gang. And their motorcycles are made out of converted cement mixers. Because America is run by this corporation called the 51.
So they're slow.
That's what?
They're slow.
They're slow?
The motorcycles are slow.
No, because of anti-gravity and gyros. They can feel and act just like a motorcycle today. I got so excited, I went to all these toy stores. I found a big toy cement mixer, and I cut away the cab, and I made it, extended it into a motorcycle with the barrel still on it. And I photographed, my friend photographed it, and that's an illustration in the book. And this is so much fun. To me, it's like all these ideas, they're like stones. You find a little stone, and you polish it, and it's like a mosaic. And I'll be walking on the street, and I'll think of something, I'll think of a name. I said, what the hell is that? With sticks. So I write it down. Later on, I'll think of a couple of words, maybe a sentence. Well, this is something this guy would say. And it all comes together. And I don't know if it's in there subconsciously. Like I have the head, the 3 alien octopuses are the Karga and Urk. And the head one is named Rego Pago Pisha. I don't like the name, but I can't change it. He came to me and I said, that's his name. I don't like it, but that's it. I didn't know if I wrote this fucking thing or not. It's coming somewhere. Maybe I'm the filter. Maybe God's taking a shit and I'm his filter. That'd be a good way to be creative. I always felt being creative was a good shit anyway. Because you eat things, you eat a wonderful meal. And you digest and you shit out the residue. That's what the art is. Just a bunch of shit on a canvas. You know, it's wonderful. It doesn't really.
What artists were there?
Artists what?
Do you know any of the artists that showed up?
Showed up where?
Figure drawing.
Oh, I met a lot of them. I don't know if but I forget names. I'm terrible. Yeah.
I actually live in Williamsburg. I recognize you very well on that street.
Oh.
And I drove twice at your place, and it was wonderful. But it was 10 in the morning on Saturday.
Yeah.
No, that's right. It was 10. I couldn't get up at the time. But
Well, that's why I made it a medium time. That's why I made it 10:30. I figured people kind of like roast in the middle of the day. Well, that could be
What
it.
happened to the mural?
The mural?
The big, you had a huge.
I had 3 of them. I have 3 paintings that size.
So did you take them with you?
Well, one of them I gave away to the Williamsburg Art and Historical Society. I had a painting in the show at, the painting about love. I had it's a 10 by 20 foot canvas. And they wanted something from me in the show, and I had a smaller canvas I thought they wanted. But they saw the picture, they wanted that. It was for Milton's 400th birthday, so I put it in there. I think they were a little bit shy. There's also some S&M scenes in it. But all kinds of different forms of love. I was going to paint I was going to put a teenage lesbian jerking herself off, but I never got around to it. Hanging upside down off this mystic's arm. I never got to that point to doing it. But there's all these different things. There's a child with like a kite string holding 3 adult whales. It's a form of love. I don't know, there's things all over the place. But it's a painting about love. So they said they wanted it. And I thought I was dying. I was having this really arthritic problems. I was standing on a ladder trying to paint the upper right-hand corner. My feet hurt so much. I was all fucked up. I had this polymyalgia rheumatis. So I really thought I was dying. And then a year or 2 later, I got into exercising. It really made a difference. Really turned it around. I wish I'd known earlier. But anyway, so they wanted. It's like, what the hell? I'll have a home. I still miss it because I'm very close to my heart. But also a thing like saying, like writing a book, is it's a different format. So I'm going to get on this Smashwords. They're the biggest distributor to electronic books. And when I get it done, I'll give you a call, Minerva, and you can let people know. That's probably the easiest way.
Yeah.
My pen name is Lincoln Matucci.
Is what?
Lincoln Matucci?
Lincoln Matucci. I don't know where that comes from. I don't like that either. I forget, I keep holding it down.
Do you think you'll illustrate it?
Oh, I have.
You have?
Yeah. I made a drawing of the cargo on the cover, the 60-legged octopus. They got a picture of the motorcycle in there. I've got a couple of maps that I altered because the Chinese invade Canada. Well, first of all, they find this is true off the I can't think of the islands. What are the islands between Bermuda and Spain in the middle? Azores. Azores are like about 2 miles deep. There's steep mountains. There's 5,000 wrecks in the 15th century. 4,000 or 5,000 wrecks in the 16th century. They're in pristine condition because they're lying down in this freezing water. So in my novel, they go down there. They lift up a ship and they find a codex in the mail that talks about an all-inclusive God that predates Christianity. So the Pope wants to suppress it. And when it comes in, it sinks with all the Azores. But they're sending it to the Pope. But it becomes public knowledge once it's surfaced. It starts this revolution all across the Americas, native peoples. And the corporations of the world have lost their grip to some degree. So people are able to coalesce together. So the Indians join with the Chinese. The Chinese attack Canada, get the water. Here's another true fact. They have teleportation now, but it's only about the size of a molecule. It's an American invention, but they say there's no money in it, so the Chinese buy it. And what they do is they attack Canada, they drop thousands and thousands of pumps into the lakes and rivers. The water sprays up, and they have billions of these little transporters. They send water all across the world to put an end to drought all around the planet. So everybody says, well, fine, we can keep America, we don't care. So they conquer half of the United States, along with the Indians. They conquer South America. And my characters, the guys from the motorcycle gang, is called the Gorgeous Song of Shattering Glass. They've all become immortal from all the chemicals and gases they use to try to kill each other in the battle around Denver, the Battle of Denver. They got to live 40,000 years. They're not immortal. They think they are. And when the card comes, they say, "Help us out. We really make you immortal. We've lived for billions of years." But the thing is, all these ideas come, and they're like I said, they're like stones. They're like little tiny pebbles, and you can polish them, and they go into the novel. It's like a mosaic. And I love it. I love to think. I think I've said something before. To me, the brain is like 3 pounds of sludge at the top of our spine. It's the keyhole to the universe. And it's, why the fuck do we have that? We're just grubby little animals. You know, we have this, we can perceive everything. Maybe creatures on other planets have the same ability. Maybe we'll meet them someday. Maybe they'll come and eat us. They probably did too bored to come here. But anyway, it's just so much fun. You guys got me started. I start getting on this. If I start with my novels, I can't start. The models?
The models.
How'd you find them?
I used Robert Speller for a long time. He was getting me models. He was running, he was a model coordinator for one of the schools in the city. I got a lot of people who call up asking for modeling work. Most of them are really good. When I moved to Brooklyn, I was getting a fairly good turnout. One day I was off on a moving job. I got into moving work to fight the lawyers at Greene St. I was on a job. A friend was running the session for me. 25 people had come to draw. The model didn't show up. But the numbers just plummeted after that. Once in a while, one day at 10:30, I called up the woman supposed to be working. I said, "Hi, it's 10:30, it's starting time, is everything okay?" She answered the phone, he said, "I didn't feel like doing it. It's not inconvenient, so this younger generation got very flaky. And, I had no backup. Shit like that would happen once in a while. But most of the time, I got a lot of good models, a lot of good people. I always enjoy it. The good thing about having fewer people to come to draw is I have more time to draw. And that's a lot of fun.
What high school do you go to?
Margaret Croft in Waterbury, Connecticut. Are you familiar with Waterbury?
Yeah. I like it.
The thing is, the year I started, it had been an industrial school. The year I started was the first time they did the college prep thing. So I think that English teacher was still in the. Well, it was my first introduction into the class system that permeates America. I didn't recognize it then, but I can see in retrospect that's exactly what it is. But I encountered all the time as a working man, as a mover. All kinds of elitist snobs try to put me down. If they break my balls over about it, I break theirs back. Otherwise, I just keep my mouth shut. If you want to screw up the job, it's not your place to do that.
Did you study art in high school, you know? Did you have any training in that art?
A little bit. Kind of like a cartoony thing, not very. The art teacher, I think, was once or twice a week, or once or twice a month, I can't remember. But not very intense.
Why did you go into art?
Huh?
Why did you go into art?
I've always been an artist. I've been since a child. I knew I was an artist. Like I said, I didn't know I was a writer or a painter. Why not both? I don't know.
Yeah. So this is actually a two-stage kind of thing. In my mind, you've always been the walking billboard of message, where you.
Even the shirt?
Exactly. Your signature daily declaration.
Yeah.
And that's where does that come from? And the next one is, when did you transition into color?
In the shirt?
Yeah.
Oh, I've always done a lot of color.
No.
In fact, the guys I work with.
I Wikipedia'd you when it was saying white T-shirt.
Oh, color shirts?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't make color shirts.
No. The colored shirt. Yeah, no.
No, I had a bunch of them. I got photographs in Greene St. I would wash my clothes, and I set up a line between the pillars.
But it was always white. I remember you always being a white.
Dozens of shirts of color.
Oh, okay.
In fact, I would
So, okay, so let me back up. Where did the wearing message come from? And what was the genesis?
Well, back in the early 80s, I was offended by all the, the designer names. And I said, fuck it, such crap, so let me rock my own. And, it's kind of fun. You'll be a wall breaker. People don't need to say anything. I got some very good anti-war things. I got one that says, the greatest act of satire is a military funeral. I got a little bit angry feedback on that. Oh, fuck it, man. Soldiers are killers, they're not heroes. People make them out wounded warriors and crap. They're taken by the government, they're used to steal other people's land. That's so offensive. But yeah, if I get, well, I look scary, so most people don't break my balls.
You know, it's scary. How many cats did you go through?
Yes.
That's right.
How many what?
Cats.
Oh, cats.
That was in one time.
No, I had, the most I ever had anytime was 6. Yeah, I had 2, I had Tuffy and Rowdy at first. They were from,
I remember you.
they were from Sureface's first litter. I acquired, somebody like that, I acquired a Siamese cat from my neighbor on Main Street, Yabble. She was 7 years old, they never gave her name. So I named her Yabble. A little cat got in somehow, and I named her Linguini. There was a TV commercial about the SOS pads. They didn't even clean Linguini. I said, oh, Linguini, that's her name. So that was 4. Oh, I had Big O, Big Orange. He was from my apartment. I think I had Crazy over there for the first, but he was my first cat. He died early, 20 years old. I came to the city, I was so depressed. I didn't want to take any animals in. I found this incredibly beautiful dog someday. And I was like, I can't take you in. I found some beautiful cats, I can't take you in. And I was convinced that I took no animals in for these 2 years. And I found a medical card from one of the animal veterinarian places that said, at Big O at the hospital in 1968. That's the year I came to the city. So I was to take cats in immediately. The first one, I was talking to my neighbor, Mark Whitecage, a jazz musician, on the first floor. He had a first floor apartment, which is 1 story up on Howson Street. In the back room, a 4-room radio flat in the back. The windows are all closed, a freezing, raining day. We were talking, and there was a cat was screaming so loud, interrupting our conversation. I went to the front, and there was a kitten, 1 building over, sitting on a stoop, yelling, that loud. I said, I got to take this animal in. So I took him in. A few months later, I guess they went away for Christmas to visit my folks. My hippie neighbor with his commune stuck another cat to keep him company, this big orange cat. Got 2 males, fighting all the time. And I got, he had a litter of cats, his house had a litter of cats. And this cat was like a real mystic, really gentle, she put her paw down and like slide. This cat is really weird. I took her in, that was short face, really sweet. 6 months later, this asshole from the commune said, hey, you got that cat? I gave her a tap of acid. Spaceship. She was wonderful. She started having litters. I think her first litter was 6 or 8 cats. That's why I got Tuffy and Rowdy. I kept that. I gave the others away. And they just kept snowballing. So well, the most I ever had any time was 6. I called them to feed them. It's like a living carpet. Right now I got 2. I had 4 for a while. I had wonderful fucking cats. I had this one come to draw from New Jersey. I got a couple of cats. I got the runt of the litter. Her name was Bola. She's really sweet. Well, I should get something else from the litter. And her brother was the monster of the litter. Huge cat. I named him Sidney Whomper to rhyme with Sidney Walker's song. Walker. I named him Whopper. He had this huge tail, it was longer than his body. He was really sweet cat. He was kind of dumb. Bola was like really sweet and smart. She played these games. He would be sitting there with the Coca-Cola. They put their Coke down with a straw. She loved straw. She would knock it over. She would knock the drink over with a straw. And she would do all these things and sit here and look at it. You could see his mind working. Oh, that's good. Let's do that. And maybe I'm a little bit crazy, I don't know. I get up every morning, like the middle of the morning, go take a piss. So I get out of bed, I walk across the space, and I'm passing the model stand, and I'd see my paintings, 10 by 20 foot paintings, and I'd be shocked. I'd forgotten that I'd painted them. And I'd say, oh, I made that. Or I'm connected with that somehow. And I'd always be shocked. So, yeah, I guess that's a little crazy. But as I'm walking, I built these walkways hanging out from the ceiling like about a foot. And Golda would run across them. She'd chase me overhead. Sydney would chase me to my left. He'd run across the model stand. He'd throw himself in the air like Superman. He'd fly right in front of my needle. All the way across. Every day. In the year 2000, I used to take him up on the roof. Right? He was sitting up there, and one night he said, he started yelling at me. He didn't want to come in. He said, come on. You know, heavy yowling. Fuck it, okay. I'll see you in the morning. And they closed the door. I wish I had kept it open. He disappeared. Never found him. I put up signs. I searched for him. I get up different times of the night. You know, cats are, you know, it's nocturnal. And I'd step on my door and say, which way to go? Because the block is huge for a cat. And when I first lost him, I thought he was in like my neighbor's house. But I knocked on all the doors. I said, no, they hadn't seen him. I said, fuck it. So I told the worker, well, I can't come to work. I found my cat. And I went to the block I live on is, it's like a what do you call it, like a Moroccan structure. It's like it's all closed off, all these buildings, edge to edge, and all these gardens in between, yards. So I knocked on everybody's door to let me into the yard, searching for it, I couldn't find them. The whole year I slept on an air mattress near my door. I kept my doors open except for the outer door, because there was a big gap underneath. So he came and yelled at the door, I could hear him. But I've never seen him again. So after about a year, I got, there's a pet store just down the street from me. I went over there and I got, there's a bunch of kittens in a cage. And one of them caught my eye. That's Shabanaki, I still got her. So I had Shabanaki. What else did I have? Oh, I'd taken in, there was a cat on the street. I'd be walking on the street and there's a cat would be sitting, laying in the sunshine. And people would be stepping over her. She was so blasé, she didn't give a shit. And I'd see her for weeks. And I said, she's a really nice cat. Let's take her out. I took her to the vet first. Make sure she had no disease to fuck up my cats. She was fine. I brought her in, and she tore the shit out of my cats, Sydney and Bola. They were terrified of her hiding. They're house cats. And this was a street cat. So, you know, she like dominated them and shit. I finally got turtle. Oh yeah, it's amazing. But she was cool. Really sweet cat. But when I brought Shabanaki in, she made a beeline for her. She knew she was like the queen of the house, the ruler of the house. She became friends with her because Shabanaki's tiny. And she needs, you know, allies. And then when I lost Sydney, and Buck Chocolates died. That was the black cat. I named her Buck Chocolates. She got all fucked up because living on the street is really bad for the cats. They only lived like 3 years. So she died off. And I'd gotten, I have Albemarle. Beautiful. I think she's a pedigree cat. But I didn't bother getting her papers. My neighbor was saying, trying to convince me to come take this cat. So I go to take a look at her. Oh, yeah, she's pretty. His daughter was allergic to tearing, you know, an adult woman. She couldn't get near the cat. So I went home and I said, well, yeah, maybe I should take her. But so I came back with a carrying case. She was living in a big closet. They had a closet. They didn't have to walk around the space. A little tiny kitten. I put the case down. She's walked around twice and just walked right in. She's really sweet, wonderful cat. She's like a wrestler now. Because the other cats are picking on her all the time. They didn't like her. But now all I have left is Albemarle and Shabanaki. She's tiny. They're always like messing with her. So they're throwing little punches, nothing serious. Anyway, somebody asked about cats.
So where are you moving to?
What? Oh, it's Massachusetts, just north of Springfield.
Why?
My younger brother's got, living at $800 a month, I couldn't afford to live there. The place is falling apart. I took some friends in as half owners, and they're trying to fuck me over, they're trying to rob me.
Why
It pisses me off.
Massachusetts?
Really?
Why Massachusetts?
So what's the decision?
I'm sorry, what?
Your brother's there.
I can't hear.
Louder.
Why Massachusetts?
Oh, my brother lives there.
What's the
He's been there for
appeal?
like 40 years. He's well established. He's got a couple of houses. I'm living across the street from his house. His son, my nephew, he's on there helping me move. He's got the ground floor, we have the second floor. That sounds nice. I don't know if I can stand living in an apartment. I'll see. Maybe I'll find another barn. I like living in barns.
If you could stand living in Greene Street, you could live anywhere.
Oh yeah, I know. But Greene St was cool, man. I had a skylight, the building jutted out. It was quieter than a penthouse.
Yeah.
When they put that asshole coffee company in, that was kind of fucked up because it was like stomping all the time and shit. I'd go up there and I'd ask the owner. People are sitting at a table. The little kid is running up and down the space like it's like a playground. And I say, can you stop that? No, I can't afford it. So I'll talk to them. And I walk over and people, they see me coming and they cringe. I'm quiet, I'm diplomatic. He's done a very big drum in my space out there. But I look scary to people. I went down to, there was a hardware store on Broadway. One I bought an 8-pound sledgehammer because I find pieces of cast iron, break up cast iron to do some welding. So I'm walking down the street, I got it on my shoulder. And I'm walking down the street and there's I think on the corner of Spring Street, there was a glass coffee shop and people with stools facing out. And I'm walking down the street, you can see them all going, I don't mean to be scary. I'm not a scary character unless I get pissed off at something. I can express anger a little bit. I have some really bad neighbors on Greene Street that are trying to fuck people over. Big dog, good dog, fucker people. They nail rats, dead rats on people's doors. So I had some argument with them.
Were they artists?
No.
Real estate?
They were nasty gay guys. Some gay guys.
Oh, there were some gay guys?
Not to be down on gays. I've been a lot. Actually, they try to make a gay hotel there called the Longhorn. You see the advertisement running on papers. I've been sitting on my doorstep reading because get some fresh air. But I meet all these guys. The guy who started the Gay Men's Alliance, the medical thing, he moved in for a few months. And I talked to him, we had conversations. And they'd only stay a few months, and he was telling me, I gotta get out of here. These guys are horrible. They had these big dogs. They would shit all over the place. And if I guess they had like rooms like cubicles. If their tenants didn't help them clean up, they would bill them for cleaning up the dog shit.
Was that Larry Kramer, who was the head of the alliance?
I can't remember his name. But he was telling me about he was doing that thing, establishing that thing.
Yeah.
With that medical.
That's who that was.
But
It was him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, whoever he was, he said he was that guy. There's a lot of nice people. I mean, gay people are fine. I got nothing wrong. But there are some nasty ones. They put a big hot tub in the middle of the loft. They let it overflow. And the ground floor was a big gallery. She had a room full of art, a room with no roof on it. Water poured down and ruined a lot of art. We went to the roof floor, ruined my ceiling. A chunk of my ceiling fell off, 3 times the size of the smallest thing. And they would let them run down the back of the building. You put a hose out, and it would fill up this airspace outside my window and run across my floor. I would ask them when they were time, please not do that. They're really nasty about it. So I went and I filed some complaints with the city. So for months ago, nothing would happen, and then the water would be running again. And I say, well, I talked to them about it, human to human. There's no anonymous phone calls or anything. People have done that to me, but anyway, I go and talk to them. And they're really nasty shits. And finally one day, I'm doing it again. Somebody said, instead of filing these whatever these complaints were, is to go to the, I think, the Department of Buildings. They can't have that weight in that kind of building. So I did that. And I didn't say anything to them. And then the water was running across my floor again. So I knocked on the door and I said, look, you're doing this. And please stop. If you don't, I'm going to pull the fuses out of here. This is a felony. But I didn't give a shit. So I waited 15 minutes. The water's still running, so I pulled the fuses. And I don't know what they're going to do, right? So my doorbell starts ringing. So I go upstairs with a crowbar. I say, if their dog attacks me, I'll smack the dog in the head with the crowbar. And I go for these two guys, Mutt and Jeff, back guy and skinny. Well, I can hear the police lights going, right? So I take the crowbar downstairs. I only have one fight in my life. I'm not a fighting person. But I do get angry. So go back up, I open the door, there's two cops, and this and that, this and that. So one cop stays up there talking to them. I take another cop downstairs and show him the water coming through. And I said, the fuse box. And I said, I've already put it back. And we're walking back to go back to the talking. He goes like this, we're walking, he goes, you cannot do that. That's a felony. That's okay. I don't care. You go back up. And start talking to these guys. And the mean one, the skinny guy, really nasty piece of work. And we're standing with the door. The double doors are open. And we're talking to each other. And it gets really heated. I don't know, we're yelling at each other. And the cop gets between us with his nightstick. And he's pounding on the wall, in between our faces. Gentlemen, gentlemen, please! And then the cops just leave. And then they get the dog, they walk off, and say, we're gonna sue you. We're taking you to court, you bastard. I said, dude, whatever the fuck you want, man. Guns, lawyers are fist, I don't care. I said, I've got 6 complaints in at this department, and the 7th at this other one. You wanna go in court, I'll meet you there. And 2 months later, they just left. So violence works.
Threats.
Unless you're a soldier, then it's nasty. Well, that's personal. Defending your home kind of violence.
Joe, do you still collect a lot of stuff?
Oh, yeah.
I remember we moved and we took 2 truckloads on just the extra stuff, and we still didn't get it.
Dumped a lot of stuff, too. I realized when I went to Brooklyn, I've been so broke that I can't afford to do any welding. I had a middle room that was supposed to be welding. It got so filled up with stuff, you couldn't even get into it. I realized now that I was depressed. I kept collecting all this metal that I could not turn into sculptures. I realize it now that I'm cleaning it up.
What are you doing with that metal? You can't take it with you.
With what?
Are you taking it with you?
What?
All the metal stuff?
No, I'm taking rid of most of it.
Yeah.
I'm taking a few pieces. I called up some scrap metal places. They said, well, we don't come and take it, you got to bring it here. I said, I can't do that. One place said, we'll bring you a 20-yard dumpster if you can promise to fill it. And I said, I can't tell how much stuff I have, I don't know. And then this one guy, I called a couple of scrap places, they said it's not worth their money to travel from the Bronx to get there. I realized later I should have said, do that, and I'll pay you like $100 or $150. But I got another guy who said he was interested. He came by and he looked at it, and he said he couldn't do it. He wanted me to bring it to the door. So he left, and I spent like hours bringing stuff. And this is fucking nuts. I can't do this. So I didn't know what the hell to do.
Yeah.
And the other night I put out a washing machine, old washing machine. I pulled it out and put it on the sidewalk near my house. There's a lot of local guys collect scrap. And then I heard something happening, and I looked outside. There's 2 guys with a pickup truck. They're taking it. Oh, is it okay if we take this? I said, oh, sure. I said, I got a bunch here. Do you want this? Yeah, they take that. I said, I got a shitload inside. You want that? So they came in. They spent like about an hour taking a load out. They came back the next day, took a whole big bunch out. And then the day after, they took most of it out. They got one more trip to come. Hopefully they'll come tomorrow. I've got like 6 standing those metal shelving things. So we're going to take those. Otherwise, it would have taken us a week, me and my nephews, to get this out. So that's working out good. We're still busting our humps trying to get the stuff back. I get up like at 4 o'clock in the morning and I pack stuff till midnight. I'm a wreck. They've come down a couple of weeks, the last 3 weekends. We're going to stay till like Wednesday of this week. I'm sorry, you wanted to ask me something?
I just wanted to put up this banner of legacy. So, what is your legacy? Because we'll define that. But what is the message you want? What will you be leaving New York when you leave? Or how will you be leaving New York, and how are we going to feel it?
Oh, I don't know. The drawing session for me was just a public service, because I like people. And I like, I was running a really nice session, really nice quality, really nice models. I paid them good. I was the best paid in the city for a long while. And I kept the price really low, kind of diverse with capitalism, which you do high price and people getting fucked over, which I always hated capitalism for that reason. So I treated the people good in the model. I paid them well. Yeah, and I think that's good. And I'm saying, like, people tell me they're traveling around Europe, and they meet them, they talk about drawing, and they say, oh, yeah, that place on Greene Street. They don't know my name. Just go, oh, yeah, that place. Yeah, that weird guy, that's fine. I'm an anonymous, famous guy.
Do you remember your first model?
Oh, like I said, Doris O'Kane started it. And Mayo was running it for a little while. And then I took it over. I do have records of them going all the way back to the names of all the models and
Wow.
prices and shit.
Wow.
Well, I think 1969. They came in 68. Depressed and fucked up, so I thought 3 years had passed, but it was only a few months. And I was in a car accident, I couldn't work, and I joined this group. So I think early in 1969, or mid-69. Like I said, I was in really depressed fog for a long time, so I'm not sure. But I like and the museum was one of the first alternate spaces in the city. So that's an extension of that. There was a group of people who started a buying club. And they said, well, instead of a buying club, let's open up a gallery. So we did a gallery thing. There was an article in the New York Times, so we got flooded with hundreds of little old lady Sunday painters. Huge membership. It was unwieldy. We had junkies living there and weird shit. This guy farming.
Was it safe at night?
This guy farming, huh?
Was it safe at night in those days?
No. No, Almond Suicide was walking down Broadway and he got held up at gunpoint back then. He's a very famous underground musician now. He's famous in Europe.
Oh.
He was a friend back then. But we had this, we had Art Workers Coalition meeting there. Women Artists in Revolution. Some of our people were working to get a grant. They were working on it. We got one. And this guy, Alan Scherner, I think was on the New York State Board. He said, here, you can have this money, but you've got to take a chunk of it, I forget, $10,000 or $20,000, and give it to the Art Workers Coalition under the table, this illegal act. So our guy, who was negotiating with him, told us about this. And he said, I think we should make this public, not give them their money, just keep our money. He said, that sounds good, we did that. So this guy Scherner, I heard from them say, I should never apply for a grant, because I don't have a hell's chance. So that was fine. And this asshole Alex Gross tried to take credit for putting on the Kent State show. He brought a New York Times reporter there, and he was bragging to him about the place, and I literally chased him off the place. I chased him to the elevator, and I talked to the Times guy, and when I was honest about it, how things were fucked up and everything. And they just wrote this horrible article. Oh, they said the place was run by toughs and rowdies. So, for her, the old that made me think on Ireland dearly, while soft the wind blew down the glen. shook the golden bar. Beside the woeful words to frame, to break the ties that bound us. Ah, I forgot the next one.
Whoa. Another one.
That was wonderful.
Another one.
It's a beautiful song.
What's the name of that one?
Oh, the wind that shakes the barrel.
Oh, the wind that shakes the barrel. Lovely voice.
The wind that shakes the barrel.
One word, okay. Beautiful. One word.
You have a very powerful, strong voice.
So soulful.
I know, I don't know why. And I love Irish ballads. I always have.
Wind that shakes the barrel. One more.
I'm trying to think. I'm not drunk enough to be inspired. Also, my throat's got me. I don't quite have the thing I used to have. I must know a good couple of dozen songs. Did anybody think of anything?
We're from Ireland. Or what county of Ireland is
Oh, I have no idea. I never followed that.
Well, how'd you learn the Irish songs?
Off record.
But are you Irish?
Huh?
Are you Irish?
No, Italian and Lithuanian.
Oh.
I think the Lithuanian has some Celtic. Are you Lithuanian?
My last name is Minerva. My mother came from Kiev.
Is that Lithuanian?
No, I heard you were Italian.
Oh yeah, Woodhouse. On my phone.
Where's your mother from?
Kiev.
Oh, Kiev.
That's
My
why
mother's
it
Scottish.
was.
What about an Italian song? Which one?
I never knew this one. Really
Lithuanian, you know Lithuanian. Same thing. Only Irish.
I think the Lithuanians have some Celtic in the background.
That's what I wanted.
I always felt close.
And I'm also French and Dutch on my father's side.
Oh, I know who's a modern rock and roll singer who sings No.
I was thinking of the ship.
I wish I had you in Carrie-Fergus or just a night in Ballygrand. I would cross over the deepest ocean, to be by your side. But the sea is wide, and I can't swim over, nor have I wings with which to fly. I wish I could find me a handy boatman to ferry me over to my love and I. My childhood days bring back sad reflections of happy times spent so long ago. My boyhood friends and my own relations have all passed on like the melting snow. So I'll spend my days in endless roving. Soft is the grass free. Oh, to be back home now in Carrie-Fergus on the long, long road to the salty sea. And in Kilkenny it is recorded on marble stone as black as ink, with gold and silver I did support her, but I'll sing no more till I get a drink. Well, I'm drunk today, and I'm really sober.
Come on.
But I am old now, and my days are numbered. So come on, you young man, and lay me down. That's a tough song.
That's beautiful.
I got really depressed the last years, and I thought that I never could sing, and that I was ashamed that I thought I could. I asked a couple of friends to verify that I used to sing, and they said yes. I couldn't verify. Is my one and only desire. So here's to those who are dead and gone, the friends that I love dear. And here's to you, I'll bid you adieu. And Donegal, Danny's been here, me boy. Oh, Donegal, Danny's been here. Wow. Yes, it again.
Is that Danny boy?
Wait. I'll just skip it. One fateful night in the wind and rain, we set sail from Killybank town. There were 5 of us from Sweet Donegal, and 1 from County Down. We were fishermen who were to sea, and never counted the falls. I never dreamed that night was done, that my 5 friends would all be lost. So here's to you. No, it's a chorus. Somebody. Keep going, don't worry, just do it. Wherever you want. My mind's like that. Oh, no. Old and stupid, you fuck. Get me a break. The sea it broke, and it drove the boat to the rocks about 10 miles from shore. As we fought the tide, we hoped inside to see our homes once more. But she struck a rock and pulled about, and all of us knew that ship go down. 6 youths leaped into the icy sea, and prayed to God they wouldn't drown. I saw Jones Point in the early light. I dragged myself on the shore. I cursed the sea for what she'd done, and vowed I'd sail her nevermore. Ever since that night I've been on the road, traveling and trying to forget. That awful night I lost all of my friends. I see their faces yet. And often at night, when the sea is high, and the rain is tearing at my skin, I hear the cries of drowning men, floating over on the wind. That last line is much younger and harness the wind to work for mankind. Windmills grew up all along the wild coastlines. In days gone by, when the world was much younger, men harnessed the wind to work for mankind. Seamen built tall ships to sail o'er the ocean. Landsmen built windmills. All my money on whiskey and beer. Now I'll go to some parlor and set up my still, and I'll sell you a gallon for a $2 bill. Corn whiskey, I like you mighty well. You killed all my kinfolk and sent them to hell. You killed all my kinfolk, and now you try me. Now I'll go to some grocery, and I'll drink with my friends, where the women can borrow and see what I spend. Oh, God bless those pretty women, how I wish they were mine. Lord, their lips taste as sweet as the good old moonshine. Corn whiskey, I like you mighty well. You killed all my kinfolk and sent them to hell. You sent all my kinfolk on rock garden rye, and I guess you'll send me when I'm ready to die. Well, it's red meat when I'm hungry, and moonshine when I'm dry, greenbacks when I'm hard up, and religion when I die. The whole world's a bottle, and life's but a dram. When a bottle gets empty, it ain't worth one damn. I think the chorus comes again. You get the gist. I think the poop got down. I think that's it.